Hello everyone, in this video we're gonna cover the Star Wars collection that will soon be released in the VeVe app, and that is something that is guaranteed. I mean, like, we already have two NFTs in the Disney Moment collections from the Star Wars, I guess, catalog, right? So we have C-3PO and also we have R2-D2. Now these two are really valuable, and I'm gonna make a comment at the end of the video in relation to these two NFTs. But what I want to cover in this video is what can we expect out of this collection and when can we expect it, right? So at the moment there's not a lot of information around, when this is going to be released, but I think we can all anticipate that the collection is going to most likely be dropped on May the 4th. May the 4th being a date that in the Star Wars, I guess, fandom is kept in a special place because it resembles a little bit of like May the Force be with you, right? So May the 4th is most likely going to be, in my opinion, the date that we will see more NFT collections around Star Wars. Now we have a few months ahead to save up some gems, and I'm gonna explain to you why this collection is gonna be so valuable. And so first, a little bit of a refresher. So we can see here the number of movies that have been released, and we are gonna start with the first one, right? So Star Wars A New Hope, this is episode 4, and it was released on 1977, and 3 years later we saw The Empire Strikes Back. Now what I believe is going to happen is that even though this is episode 4, the one that was released on 1977, based on what we've seen from VeVe, it is most likely that the first collection that they will release is going to be in relation to A New Hope, like kind of like the original, right? So we've seen that with many things, especially comics related, right? Like we saw that with Marvel at the beginning. They were releasing number ones of Spider-Man, Marvels, and Fantastic Four. You had the Thor and Loki. Like they kind of like go back to the very original, I guess, release of the first comic or the first collectible, and then from there they kind of like start branching out, right? So I don't know if they will continue that sequence, but I kind of like believe that they will start with this one. Now this is important because there was a company by the name of Kenner, and this company basically released all the collectibles, all the toys that were coming out of the, I guess, the strong momentum that came out of the movie, right? So at the moment we can see that there's a bunch of these collectibles or toys. I think they were like toys at that back then, right? So let's call it toys. So from 1977, when the first movie got released, basically they released the, I guess, the original characters, right? We see C-3PO, we see Chewbacca, and I'm just gonna hover a little bit so we can see the kind of I guess toy that was released and the properties. Of course it's 1977, and so they look very old and not fantastic, but I believe that what they are going to release on VeVe is going to be really unique. I think they're gonna go for the vintage I guess design, the same thing that we've seen with, let's say, most recently with Fantastic Four with the Invisible Woman. But yeah, like you have C-3PO, you have Chewbacca, you have the Death Squad commander, Han Solo, of course, you have Jawa, you have Luke Skywalker, no doubt, a good one there, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Princess Leia, R2-D2, Sand People, Stormtrooper, and that's basically it, right? For 1977, you could call this the Series 1, if we're gonna use the terms of VeVe, right? Like Series 1, they released what I believe is 11 collectibles, 11 toys, and then they continue with 1978 being Luke Skywalker, the, I guess, first edition, not first appearance, right? Because they repeated the character but in a different, I guess, design. Now something that is important for us to consider is that you can see here the retail price, right? So the price action that we saw, and the price action of like historically of these toys or these collectibles in relation to the years that pass by and the fandom, at the end of the day the market decides the prices and all that. So all of them started at $199, then again in the 70s, right? The price difference from where they started and what they are right now can be seen in this chart, and we can see that the one of the most valuable one is definitely Luke Skywalker with 5,354, right? So that's like a huge difference increment between the original price and the current price if you wanted to buy this toy or collectible. Now if we move away from Luke Skywalker, then you have Han Solo, and surprisingly Chewbacca. Now surprisingly I say this because I was expecting to see C-3PO and R2-D2 actually in those categories, but no, like you have Han Solo and Chewbacca. I'm not it's not crazy, but I'm just surprised, but it's not crazy. Like Chewbacca is gonna be like a huge collectible, and then we have R2-D2. R2-D2 already released, and then you have Darth Vader. I would think this would be, you know, higher than this price difference. I think it would be like, in my mind, if Luke is like 5,000, I think Darth Vader should be like probably around that, like at least 4 to 6,000. But look, the market is what the market is, right? So, and then you have C-3PO on 775, which is not really breaking. And you know, there's others that are doing way better, like Jawa, right? So then again, back then there's no rarity levels, there's no you know, limited, you know, the concept of like rarity levels and limited edition and all that. Like they could print, you know, or manufacture as many toys as they want, but this is basically what the market dictated. So I want you to use this as a reference when they start releasing these NFTs in relation to Star Wars, the first series for potentially in May the 4th. Then you can understand if your game is about like making a little bit of profit. I would suggest to use this as a reference, because the market basically is gonna dictate, right, basically where the price is gonna go, right? So that's one thing. Now secondly, why do I think this is gonna go crazy? Well, we know how big Star Wars is, and these guys, the Kenner company, basically released 100 unique toys, and they did that from 1978 to 1985, even though here it says that it was done from 1977 when they started to 1985. And so someone needs to correct that Wikipedia entry, but it doesn't matter, 1977, 1985. So they sold 300 million of the Star Wars action figures. That's a lot of action figures in 7 years. Now, if we divide 300 million by 7, and I'm gonna do that right now, so 300 million divided by 7 years, that's 42 million. So 42 million was the amount of toys that they sold on average on a yearly basis. Now we know that those numbers are crazy. Like VeVe would not release, you know, 42 million of these collectibles altogether, right? Like they don't do that, right? Like we've seen that already with the collectibles that have been released. They release, you know, if they want to go crazy, they release, you know, like a little bit something north, like very close to 20,000 when it's a common one, right? And when it's a ultra rare or secret rare, it can go as rare as to like 250, right? So somewhere between 250 and 20,000, let's call it, right? So it's not going to be a lot. It's not going to be 300 million, right? So what we've seen in prices here, like these are gonna be like so easily surpassed, and I think like these 5,000, if this becomes, you know, even if it's a common one, like I think, you know, this can easily go to you know what, like 30,000, 50,000 in a very short period of time, depending really on the rarity and how many editions are going to release, right? So I guess that is my case. I just wanted to kind of indicate to you that most likely we will see those on May the 4th, and so these potentially can allow us to start saving for you know, some gems, so we can buy and participate in this collection. Now the other thing I wanted to cover is what I mentioned at the beginning of the video, but before I do that, please consider liking the video and subscribing. It means a lot. I really enjoy doing these videos, so yeah, that's always good feedback. But anyways, let's go back to it. So if we can see now here in the VeVe app, so we have C-3PO as the common one and of the Disney moments, and then you have R2-D2 in the common section, right? So so C-3PO 4,500, that's the floor, and this one has 12,333. So it's not like like millions, right? It's just a very limited number. And of course R2D2 with a floor price of 8,300, and it has a little bit less editions, so 8,333. Can you think of at least 8,333 the hardcore fans of Star Wars with, let's say, enough resources to buy these for $20,000? I do think so. I think that's gonna happen. And so these prices to me are relatively low for what they can become in the future. Now, do I have, $8,000 to buy an R2D2? I wish, but I don't have it at the moment. But maybe, I don't know if you do, but if I hope you do, and if you do, consider buying one, right? Like, because I think they're gonna be awesome, especially when we see all these Star Wars collection coming into VeVe. That's gonna create so much momentum for the platform, because Star Wars is huge, and so all this fandom is gonna come into the app, and the prices of these two golden moments, like how special are these, C3PO, R2D2, is gonna skyrocket. So if you don't have any of these two, I understand, they're very hard to get, and fair enough, like it is what it is, right? But I hope that you can then utilize the information we covered in this video, so that you can buy and select which ones to buy when they are released, the new, I guess, wave of toys, collectibles in the app in relation to Star Wars. And so that's the video. I hope you like it, and if you did, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.